2 years ago, I noticed a tiny, wet, odorless blister on my cast iron soil stack. I thought the copper pipe above it might be leaking, but that pipe seemed dry, so I just wiped it off. It didn't take long, the blister came back. To determine whether the stack or the pipe above it was leaking, I covered the area with cardboard and left it overnight. Next morning, the blister was back in exactly the same spot underneath the cardboard. When I examined the area through a jeweler's loupe, I could see little bubbles moving through the gel. My worst fear confirmed. The cast iron stack was leaking. Septic tank problem? It'd only been 2 years since it was last pumped. Generally, I can get at least 5 years between cleanouts. So I dug it up again and called for service. The guy asked me why I had called. The tank wasn't anywhere near full. The discharge pipe wasn't blocked. Test flushes poured right out. Oh well. Whatever the problem was, I should be okay now, right? Wrong. Even though the tank was empty, the wet, odorless blister came back again the following day. So I visited a plumbing shop and showed them these very same pictures. Solder it, they said. Solder it? There's a rubber gasket there. Even if I had a torch powerful enough to heat up all that metal, the heat would surely melt the gasket. So next I called a plumber. Can't we just unscrew the cleanout door and replace the leaking sleeve? Oh no! This job is going to cost you $2,000. You have to replace all this pipe. So next I looked on the internet. 2 products were highly recommended. The first was flex tape. I have no doubt that it would have worked, but I decided not to use it because once applied, there'd be no way to monitor what might be going on underneath the tape. I should have bought transparent flex tape instead of black. The next was JB Waterweld. I have no doubt that product would have worked as well, but I decided not to use it for the same reason. So, on the advice of my wife, I applied a few drops of Harbor Freight superglue. The first application completely disappeared into the casting. Next day, the pipe was dry. I made a second application, and this time some of the glue stayed on the surface, ran to the right, and dried white. You can see the glue residue in the photo dated 4/28/19. The problem area looks exactly the same today as when I superglued it 2 years ago. The pipe remains dry, I've declared victory, and I'm about to repaint it. Now here's why I made this video. 2 cents, 2 minutes versus 2 min, $2,000. It's crazy. Hope this helps someone.